हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, जेई एडवांस 2020 को टारगेट करता हुआ एक और क्वेश्चन आपके सामने ला रहा हूँ मैं। वेव ऑप्टिक्स से क्वेश्चन है ये, एंड क्वेश्चन जो आपकी स्क्रीन पर है उसको मैं एक बार रीड करूँ। अ डिटेक्टर ऑफ रेडियो वेव विच इज़ इन अ रेडियो एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल ऑब्जर्वेटरी लैब is placed on a sea beach at some height h, which is 2 meter above the sea level. Now, after the rise of a star radiating electromagnetic waves of lambda, which is 21 centimeter above the horizon, the detector registers, it's wrongly written there, registers, it registers or it records, it records series of alternating maximas and minimas. Now we have to determine the angle between the star and the horizon in the moment when the detector registers maximum and minimum. So again, a beneficial question for JEE Advanced 2020. Those who are serious for JEE or JEE Advanced, I am sure they will be benefited by this question. So the question is like this. Let's say this is sea level and this is water, so that is the sea level. As per the question, there is a detector which is above that sea level. So let's say here is the detector D. That detector is at a height, say h, which is given as 2 meter. So this is my detector at h distance above the sea level. Obviously this sea level will be our horizontal level, and when the star rises above the horizon, let's say at some moment the star is here, let's say the star is above the horizon, right? It has some angle also, and as the time passes the star is further above the horizon, right? So starting from the rise of a star, it's just like sunrise and sunset. So starting from the rise of a star, it will move above the horizon, and at any moment, at some moment, let's say the radiation coming from this star, let's say the radiation which comes from this star falls on this detector at some angle. Since the star is far away, it is a very far away object, radiations from the star reaching to the detector can be considered as a parallel beam of light. So the detector will receive one radiation which is directly coming from the star to that detector, that is radiation 1 or a wave 1. The detector will also receive some radiations which are coming from that star, getting reflected from the water surface and then reaching to the detector. So this is my wave number 2. So your detector will receive two type of wave. Type 1 is the wave which is directly from the star to the detector, and type 2 is a wave which is originated from the star, incident on the sea level, reflected from here and then received by the detector. These two are parallel rays. These two are the parallel waves because of the reason that star is very far away object. So approximately you can think that these two waves 1 and 2 are coming parallel to each other, and let's say they are coming at angle alpha with the horizon. They are coming at angle alpha with this horizon. Now we need to find the phase difference. We need to find the phase difference between the wave 1 and wave 2, because these two waves will interfere at this point. This is a problem from the interference topic, and there is interference between the direct wave coming from the star and the reflected wave from this water. So these two waves will interfere at point D, and we need to find the phase difference or path difference to confirm whether it is constructive interference or destructive interference. So the sole purpose of question, or the sole idea behind the question, is finding the phase difference. Now listen, if, remember, these two are parallel rays, these two are parallel. So if I drop a perpendicular, like so, and we call this point as S1 and this point as S2, if the waves which are coming parallel to each other, that means we have a parallel beam, then this perpendicular is by definition known as wavefront. And if it is wavefront, then as per the characteristic of wavefront, point S1 and point S2 are in phase. They are the secondary sources as per the Huygens principle. And as per the Huygens principle, S1 and S2 are the secondary sources, and since they are on the same wavefront, they are in phase, that is without any phase difference. So I will consider S1 as my source 1 and S2 as the source 2, and these two sources are coherent also because they are on the same wavefront. So these two sources are coherent and they are in phase. Now you can think the problem as detector receives a wave coming from S2, and that same detector receives another wave from S1. So if I draw this circle, if I draw the waves which are coming from S2 and S1 like this, this is alpha, this is my detector, this is the perpendicular which we have drawn as a wavefront, point S2, and this is point S1. As per the law of reflection, you can prove that this angle is also alpha. And this height of detector is given. Notice that the height of detector is known. This height is given as h. So you can prove by trigonometry, you can apply trigonometric ratios, and then you can prove that length ds1, if I use this triangle and I apply tan alpha, then tan of alpha should be this h upon this sin alpha, then it is h over ds1. So ds1 should be h over sin alpha. That is the value of ds1. And ds2, to find ds2 now, if this is alpha, this is a perpendicular wavefront, this angle is alpha. Notice this is 90 degree angle, alpha 90, so you will get 90 minus alpha here, or you will get alpha at this point. And if this is alpha, then ds2 can be obtained as, now we will find this ds2. I have done some mistake now. This angle is alpha, this angle is alpha, this is 90 degree. So this angle, I did a mistake. This alpha and 90. So this angle will be 90 minus 2 alpha. Let me write here. This angle will be 90 minus twice alpha. So this angle is now 2 alpha. This angle is 2 alpha. So now I will find ds2. Now I will find ds2. ds1 is h by sine alpha. This angle is 2 alpha. This is 90 degree angle. So now you can find ds2 if you take cosine of this angle. Cosine of this angle will be ds2 divided by ds1. So ds2 will be ds1 multiplied by cosine of 2 alpha. And we will put the value of ds1 here. So I will get h cosine of 2 alpha divided by sine alpha. Now the path difference delta x, the path difference will be s1d from the source s1 minus s2d from the source s2. s1d minus s2d. You will put the values of s1d and s2d. s1d is h by sin alpha and s2d is h over sin alpha into cos 2 alpha. So you will put these two values. You will substitute these two values, and after simplification you will get the term as 2h sin alpha. 2h sin alpha. This path difference should be 2h sin alpha. Corresponding to this path difference, you will have a phase difference between the two waves, which is 2 pi over lambda into this path difference 2h sin alpha. Now the important point. The two waves which are participating in interference are 1 and 2. Wave 1 is a direct wave from the star to the detector, but the wave 2 has gone through a reflection. It has gone through a reflection at this point, and that reflection was from a rarer medium towards the denser medium side, air to water. So this wave is now reflected from the water surface. It will undergo additional path difference of pi caused by reflection. So another phase difference equals to pi will appear in the wave number 2 due to the reflection at water surface. Because of that additional phase difference pi, the criteria corresponding to the constructive interference and the destructive interference will change now, because in a regular practice we write that when the phase difference is 2 n pi, in a regular practice you write when the phase difference is 2 n pi, we say it is a constructive interference. But here the situation is different. It is not the regular case. Additional phase difference of pi will appear in the wave 2, due to which, if the phase difference due to path difference is even multiple of pi, then additional phase difference of pi, when added with this phase difference, which I assume to be even multiple of pi, will make it odd multiple of pi. I repeat, if this factor is some even multiple of pi, let's say 2 pi, 4 pi or 6 pi, and you add additional phase difference pi caused by the reflection, then the value becomes either 3 pi, 5 pi or 7 pi, which becomes odd multiple of pi. And for odd multiple of pi, we always get destructive interference. So if this phase difference corresponding to the path, if this phase difference which is corresponding to the path is 2 n pi, then this is the criteria for minima or destructive interference. This is a very important point, that corresponding to the phase difference caused by the path difference, if that is 2 n pi, then it will give me destructive or minimum intensity, because extra phase difference of pi will also be added in this expression due to the reflection portion. So the minimum condition for minima is now phi path is 2n pi. So you will put this phi path, which is 2 pi by lambda 2s sin alpha here, equals to 2n pi. You will get the conditions for minima. And when you put this path difference, when you put the phase difference corresponding to path difference as 2n minus 1 pi, you will get the criteria of maxima, that is destructive interference. So just substitute this value 2 pi by lambda 2s sin alpha on the left side, and again 2 pi by lambda 2s sin alpha on the left side, and your question is done. So this was from interference between the direct and reflected electromagnetic wave, which undergoes a phase difference of pi due to the reflection, right? So I hope this problem will help you for JEE Advanced 2020 and even for JEE Mains 2020. And similar problems based on the interference will be discussed in upcoming videos, along with the ongoing series of heat and thermodynamics and electromagnetism. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and wish you good luck for your upcoming JEE exam. Thank you.